Kevin Harvick demands this after NASCAR decision. Kevin Harvick, a veteran of the NASCAR Cup Series who is now 46 years old, has been one of the frontrunners in bringing the safety concerns associated with the next-gen car into the spotlight that they now enjoy. What was going on? What prompted Harvick's criticism of NASCAR? Before we move into the video, please subscribe to NASCAR Zone and press the bell icon for further updates. Harvick has been vocal about his frustration with the issue of the 7th-generation Cup car's unreliable performance and dangerous wrecks, both of which have befallen him. He believes safety plays second fiddle in NASCAR and expressed his frustration by speaking out about the necessity of taking action. The comments that Harvick made were made a week after the fire that broke out in his car during the Southern 500. Rubber built up inside the vehicle and caught fire, which resulted in flames shooting through the dashboard. NASCAR made a response by implementing a safety change to the cars. There have been multiple fires involving autos. Concerns have been raised as a result of the fact that drivers have commented throughout the season on how much harder the hits felt. Harvick's anger stemmed from the incident that occurred recently, and he vented his frustrations in the media room at Kansas.
There needs to be some better leadership on just the whole safety situation. You know, my road's shorter than most everybody's been here after the whole fire thing at Darlington, and the reaction on Tuesday was drastic, but way too late.
He started going through how the whole event had transpired and gone down, while everyone looked at the car and asked questions. Why did everything turn into a puddle? However, this material is not completely resistant to fire. This is the coating that they submitted a few months ago, after the fire that Chase Briscoe started, and it was turned down.
Here's the coating that we presented a couple months ago after Chase's fire, and it's been rejected, and now this week it's all in there. You got to put the stainless on there. So that reaction, as I go back and talk to my guys, and basically had a car catch on fire at every test. So it's not like it was a new problem. We had a 48 catch on fire at Darlington, I think, the first race. So we've seen a lot of these instances, and it's just a really, really slow reaction. I think if the teams were in charge of stuff like that and the proper input was put in place, and we would have never had more than 2 fires if the teams were in charge for the whole field, because they would have collaborated and not been so slow to react. So, the whole safety thing is really kind of second fiddle right now, and I just don't think that's fair to the drivers. And we can debate all day, but debating isn't really fixing anything. I think when I look at the car itself, it's not rear impacts, it's not front impacts, it's not side impacts, it's all impacts. And no matter what their filtered data says, it's not what the drivers are feeling, and we need a louder voice. And I as I sat and thought about it this week, it really needs to have more of an independent group that makes the decisions on how to implement things and how to go through a process that's outside of NASCAR and the teams.
NASCAR relies on a panel of independent safety experts, which includes Jeff Crandall, director of the Center for Applied Biomechanics at the University of Virginia; Barry Myers, who is on the Duke University faculty in biomedical engineering and orthopedic surgery; James Radden, retired from the United States Air Force and vice commander of the United States Air Force School of Aerospace Medicine; and Joel Stitzel, head of the Virginia Tech Wake Forest University School of Biomedical Engineering. Were they effective in their duties? Please let us know in the comment section below, and also subscribe to our channel. The most seasoned driver currently competing in the Cup Series is Harvick. A week after Dale Earnhardt was killed in a crash during the final lap of the 2001 Daytona 500, he made his debut in the series driving for Richard Childress Racing, which was Dale Earnhardt's team. Earnhardt was the 4th driver to pass away in 2000, following in the footsteps of Adam Petty, Kenny Irwin, and Tony Roper.
I watched when we had all the trouble with Adam and Kenny Irwin, and then it resulted in Dale Earnhardt, and then all of a sudden it was mandatory to wear Hans devices. It was mandatory to wear the Hutchins device. We developed soft walls. It can't be slow. The safety cannot be slow, and this car it's screwed up as far as the way that it crashes. And whether the data says it or not, every driver in this garage will tell you that's not right, and it hurts. Feet hurt, hands hurt, head hurt, And there has to be a better solution. And I think, when we want to solve problems, we can solve them quick, super quick. And, I think that plan didn't come together in one day because there wasn't stuff that was not already in a process, but it was just too slow to be implemented. And now, unfortunately, we're in the spot that we're in. The positive that came out of it was there was a lot of progress made on a situation that shouldn't have been there in September.
Ryan Blaney expressed his gratitude to Kevin Harvick for speaking up. Blaney stated, "I definitely think someone needs to do something about it, and I agree with him. I believe that Kevin is acting in a responsible manner by speaking out about it. I'd be angry about that too. Everything from the flames to the impacts that the drivers are experiencing needs to be altered and made better."
I don't know. I feel like just go in there and see what they have to say. And I know we have a handful of questions as drivers that we want to ask them about kind of the progression of the safety side of it. I know they're working on some stuff, rear clip stuff and things like that. So it's unfortunate that a couple guys have had to get injured to kind of realize that that needs to be worked on. But and that's the long-term thing, right? Like you're working on rear clips now, but you're not going to be able to implement them this year, right? That's a next year thing. So it's like, okay, what are the short-term things that we can do to try to, get these things a little safer? So we'll just see what they have to say. But it's nice that they're working on something. Like I said, it's just unfortunate. A couple guys have gotten hurt, before things have been, gotten worked on.
NASCAR announced that it had met with the driver's advisory for a total of 2 hours. Jeff Burton, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, Austin Dillon, and Corey LaJoie were among those who attended the NASCAR meeting. According to Hamlin, when it comes to NASCAR,
there's a sense of urgency on their part, yes. Maybe. Certainly, I think it helped in that aspect. It probably helped the situation, the urgency that they got behind, the momentum that we got on that right now, for sure. NASCAR made their decision, and it's just the 3 guys that said that it was different. It was interesting that they raised the fine but took the points away. Super interesting, for sure.
After the conversations that took place, Hamlin stated that he has a more positive outlook on what NASCAR is doing. Are there likely to be any positive outcomes from this meeting? What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comment section below. And also subscribe to our channel.
At this point, I feel like I've said everything I could on the safety side. I wouldn't change anything. But ultimately, now we just wait on their results. And certainly, we heard what they said they're going to do. Now we sit back and wait and see those results come through in the next 3 to 6 months.
To what extent do you agree with Hamlin's assertion? Tell us in the space provided below. As for me, I'm calling it a day. We hope the video was entertaining. We can't do this without our fans, so please subscribe to our channel to see more of our incredible critiques.